What's up guys, it's Talon here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at how you can improve your Cash Cup skills by analyzing top NA West Pro Reet. But before I get into this video, you guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like in this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. Also, if you wish to support me in another way, use code TALON.FN in the Fortnite item shop, #ad. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. Alright guys, as you can see on the screen we have Reet's POV. This is going to be an analysis of two solo Cash Cups on the same day. Reet had an insane performance. He ended up placing first on Asia, which is around 100 ping, so an incredible performance there. And then he goes on NA West on lower ping and dominates and sets a world record for points. And we're going to be taking a look at these high kill elimination games. There's tons of great stuff to go over and look. We're going to take a look at Asia first, high ping, and because as well it was actually the first tournament of the day. So get a lot of pre-fight damage. We see someone trying to disengage. Now, we don't know if we landed Believer Beach to kind of start off King. This is his second game of the tournament. We're going to launch pad over. Now, this is something that what he does, which I think is a minor mistake. So notice how he goes behind this tree and then he goes out in the open to kind of push. And he ends up getting him fried. Person with much better aim, or maybe aim assist, could end that tournament right then and there. Or end that tournament, end that game. But ends up doing a good job of recovering and gets a good spray through. Now P90 over AR in some situations is good. Now this is a little thing I want to talk about right here. Notice how he's kind of full boxed at this point. So what does he do immediately? To prevent the opponent from basically overcycling, he immediately shoots that pump shot. Good full box attempt here. This move is what I also want to talk about. Being aware of your surroundings. He gets this is a fantastic move, and notice how he's hugging that tight left and getting the cone. Window placing cones is some of the best ways to get piece control. Now, this is also kind of a smart tactic. The only way that Reet doesn't take any return damage in this situation is if he does exactly what he does, which is spray through. If he were to actually edit that cone, it would basically leave him open up to getting shot. He cones him again, and he goes from a different angle. Switches the P90, sprays through crack shield. Now actually eats a ton of damage, but hits a big headshot. He's now gotten the spaz from Believer, but look at his number of materials. Not a lot, but still continuing the pressure. And the opponent actually hits him with a good right-hand peek. 100 ping, he's not able to place the walls in front like he probably had wanted to. So very low mats, he's got to recognize and make a play. He does a great job. Fantastic movement right there, but this is just a great recognition. You just got to basically make this play. Look, 112 HP, we have 6 builds, right? What's the best chance of success is just basically what can we do? We drop this builder down him for 100. Now instead of editing the ramp into a 50-50, we go up a layer and try to edit a kind of protected peak, but unfortunately we fall. We actually may have even hit him, but then this edit is very, very, it can be bad if you don't maximize with movement. Notice he crouches, and he actually times it perfectly when the opponent swings. We turn a horrible situation into a good one. Capitalize. Now this opponent is looking a little bit lost to get some good pre-fight damage. Not effectively creating space, just taking shield behind one wood wall. And so this is a good indication. This move is also going to be the theme of this VOD review, and this is this crosshair placement. This is a move that has been in the game forever, but there's only certain players that really I see exploit it well. Calc is one of them, and Slight, who really does tutorials on this move if you really want to do it. But it's all about that crosshair placement being at the top of your wall, and it's a great way to cut off opponents. It's right here. He does it even more in build fights, and I'll show it in that as well. But on right here, do you see that? He did it exactly. Again, this is kind of one of the themes of the VOD review. Sorry guys, there was an ad. I'm just going to go over this move again, and I just kind of want to slow it down to kind of show the importance of it, especially on high ping when you're not going to be getting a lot of walls. What is a good way to get piece control is just preemptive piece control. So notice he's just placing cones far and wide, and look at that crosshair placement right at the top. This is what is incredibly important to take away from this. Right at the top, cuts off the opponent and then goes out to the side for a side box. He goes up to a different layer, and then you're going to see him eventually end the fight by letting the opponent make the mistake of editing on him. Panic, the opponent wasn't that good. Better opponents would do that, but this is, again, second game of the Cash Cup, so not the best quality of opponents. And he's on Asia, which is not a very good fighting region, a more passive region. And you're going to see this kind of same type of Cone placement. Notice just kind of always just placing cones. Editing a double peak. This is very, very interesting. Notice how he keeps that crosshair right there as well in case the opponent does the Martaz jump with the ramp. Opponent does not, but Reet is prepared anyways. It's out of the situation. And there right there is again with the cones. It just cuts off the opponent. Full box. And then he full boxes again on the same side. Fantastic. That is playing your angles to the absolute maximum of playing your angles. It was incredible. One movement which matches. You can make your movement. You can maximize your peaks of movement. We saw that kind of in the Clicks VOD review as well, back from Season 7. But right here, we kind of similar thing. Boom, get that window cone in. So crucial. But then right here, crouch, accelerate, jump. Opponent has no chance. And then we move back towards cover. So
60 frames still.
Movement, again, being a huge part of piece control. And then you're going to see this again. I feel like the same thing with these cones. Just kind of just throwing them around everywhere. Right there, cones them off again. Cutting off angles 52. You see just the constant cone placement. Just trying to cut off opponents. And this is incredibly important, not only on high ping. It's even more important on high ping. You don't want to have to worry about wall takes. You want to piece control your opponents. That's why I believe Reet is the only controller player that can consistently just dominate on high ping regions. Now he gets flown on. Opponent with a spaz. Now smartly gets the mini off, times it. Now this is really bad. Good recognition though. Creating double space. Notice how he didn't, now that he's weaker, double space. Is going to bait right there. Jump to the left. Make sure he follows the peanut butter. Good attempt at the pre-fire. Now he's got this opponent overstretched. And that's actually what Reet can do. Hasn't had to be on very many walls. Gets the high wall. Fantastic. There's where the zone wars comes in. This high wall. This high wall technique. First of all, this is if you can get opponents to do this to you, it'll always be an advantage. And it's having his escape route. So he has this escape route. The opponent breaks through, and then he gets him to basically run through his old builds, and that's easy piece control. 121. And then just this zone wars high wall. It's important. So right is here. Notice the opponent's ramping up. So what does Reet do? He just cuts off the front way to his access. He does take a little bit of a damage to open peak, but he was confident at health advantage, and then trusting his aim, finishes the fight.
Cone in your box. Are you serious?
6 kills early on. That's a free elimination on a third party. Fantastic window, and look at that coming through again. Unfortunately, the opponent shot it through, but if you take, and there it is, that cone move again, getting in. Fantastic. Takes the 50-50. The opponent probably doesn't have gold spaz, so confident. Now this was, I thought, a little bit strange. I probably wouldn't recommend this. This is very just like scuffed. It's a very interesting angle though, I'm not going to lie. It's kind of a 200 IQ angle. Notice how he's just taking safe precautions, and I don't believe the opponent's actually even in there. But it's just kind of weird. And then he's trying to play safely, and realizes, oh, opponent's not there. Gas can. Miss. And notice another, again, high ping spray. This is one of the best bleed through weapons. Again, 100 plus ping, you want bleed through damage, right? If you're pressuring walls. Make sure he blocks off his back. He actually gets the front wall. The opponent falls down in front. Gets it one time. The opponent obviously not the highest of quality. And then a wide edit. And this is something you can always do. This edit is really good, or just a 3-tile edit in general. When the opponent is incredibly weak, you just want a nice, I guess, like open. So first, good gets the wall, and that already had the wall, and then gets the cone slide, crack. But what I really want to talk is this right here. Is you get this nice wide edit. Why? I mean, the opponent's more than likely not going to hit you for 143 with attack at that range when you have a spaz, especially. So you get it right there. The opponent tries to jump up, and he's stuck on that layer. So just a good time to make wide edits to finish fights. Cracks this opponent for 100. Then cone, fantastic right there. Gets in, fantastic. Opponent's a little bit lost. And now we're up to a whopping 10 eliminations in this game. Good right hand. Peanut Butter Pete gets the wall on the third party. Zone Wars hide wall right there. This opponent's kind of going to crank forever. I don't believe he actually ends up getting this kill. I believe it ends up getting stolen from him if I remember correctly. But you see Mitro Classic technique right there. Basic. Now comes from underneath. Now misses the shot, unfortunate. But coming, one of the best things you can do, I've talked about it in many VOD reviews before, is if you got an opponent that's just above you on a flat or something, put that cone in there and come from underneath. They can't hold it. He does it again. Drops the opponent. But the opponent edits out perfectly. Gets a 3 tile. Actually does end up picking up this elimination. He says so. Make sure he fulls boxes up before he starts this fight. Now gets the opponent to bait. Good crosshair placement. Now you're going to see again just kind of the challenges of playing on high ping. He's not going to be able to get those walls. You see how many times he is unsuccessful. And so this is kind of like the crux. He finally does get it. But I mean, the opponent can easily move by it at that point. Now he sees the third party in front of him. So this is something that's just a little minor thing. A little minuscule thing right here, okay? So we get here. We're pressuring this opponent. We finally get a wall. We go up. We start getting third party. And you're going to... It's just such a minor thing, but it is important. So look where this opponent is. So what does Reet do? He goes jump to the side. He blocks off. He goes, I don't want to sit here and pressure this opponent from this way anymore. Why? Because there's the opponent there. So I'm going to just jump back and put the opponent between me and the third party. And that's a good way to assuage third parties if you can. And you see the opponent is kind of running away now. It comes from the bottom again. And 200-0 again. One of the best things you do on high ping is that right there. You spray through weapons. 12 eliminations. Sets up on a nice wide right hand peek. Gets it on a improperly timed, and again spray through. 13 eliminations. 300 builds. Nice cone right there. Gets up, but unfortunately gets ramped down and then cracked. 100 mats, 13 eliminations. Catches someone in the back of the tarp, gets a free refresh. But in a video kind of fast forwards to him on height. I believe this is going to be a 15 kill or 16 kill win. Can't remember exactly. Looks like it's a 1v1. No, he sits here and waits. The opponent just drops right on top of him. Sprays through. Again, very important on high ping to have as many spray weapons as possible. No mats. He eventually just jumps down, catches the opponent, waits till he's healing.
Let's go, boys.
And then a massive, just a huge game 2, 50 kill elimination victory royale. And we saw just some of the tenets of W King. One is just that cone move was so effective for him overall, cutting off his opponents. One that stops the waste of mats, having to chase opponents that overbuild. It also, on high ping, it puts you in less situations where you have to worry about taking walls. That's one of the worst aspects of high ping. Preemptively placing walls in piece control is exactly what favors high ping if you want to be able to W key on that level of high ping. Reet, a different breed, adapts, dominates, and we saw just a lot of these smart little intricate details that make Reet just an incredible fighter. We're now going to switch over to NA West and take a look at that W key game because we get to see a completely different style when Reet is much more confident on walls. It is very, very good and something you can implement into your gameplay. Let's hop over into Cash Cup on NA West. Alright guys, we are in the NA West Cash Up. I believe this is actually going to be a 20 bomb if I remember correctly. So a lot of W King, and we get to see a different type of play style with a different type of meta weapon. So very, very different. Now, no mats for Reet here in this fight. Doesn't end up placing, misses a shot.
Nice.
And then nice little...
I said 0 mass and I got a kid out a llama.
He's in, the call was scented. He gets a llama. He kind of runs over to Pleasant Park. Either that or it's another game, not exactly sure. But I believe it's, since the same skin, it's more than likely. Nice little pre-fire right there on the break. Crack shield. Nice little block off right there, and the opponent's underneath his own ramp. Doesn't realize it. Ends up getting finished.
My thing's spiking, dude.
4 eliminations.
Yo, did they make it so this bitch can move around and sweaty now?
Whatever.
Don't call her a bitch, dude.
One sec.
This is just smart. Now notice that this opponent is underneath here, and what Reet is going to do, he's going to hold the floor and keep them there. And the opponent's going to be so confused, he then cone slides them.
Fuck, man.
And this is what I said, in some situations, pump P90 is the way. Obviously, chug cannon, take it whenever you can get it, but 3 pats, 5 eliminations, and the king isn't going to stop.
Oh, young Nate. How's it going?
Gets it right there, nearly full boxes him, misses a shot, but gets the finish.
Bro, I should try this shit.
And we have 6 kills.
Fucking hell, man. Something so
Fantastic
nice, bro.
pickaxe bait right here. Nearly full cones him. And drops down and gets the finish on this opponent. God Tack or Blue Pump, and this is going to be the definition
Baby.
of this particular VOD review of this first game. Because you're going to see
52 white, dead check.
just what Reet can do. He faces a cone in there, and then Metro Classic. Fantastic. Just so many techniques demonstrated. With, again, you know, Pump, you think Pump is meta, but this is going to be constant throughout. And I'm going to break down just everything about this entire engagement is what I would consider just absolutely textbook on what you want to see in W King. So quick fight, like one quickness of ending the fight. So piece control down. We have an opponent sitting here. We pressure with we pressure constantly. We treat this thing almost like an AR. First of all, and instead of even going for the wall, we establish piece control, put cone in the box immediately. Now we sit there with good crosshair placement. The opponent's a little bit uncomfortable because of that said cone in the box. What is Reet going to do? Good crosshair placement. Crack. Oh, I have an escape route, so now you're stuck. I create a right hand peek. Crack you as my movement allows me to make this angle optimized. You've just reset the wall. So what am I going to do? Use the already pre-built ramp there to Metro Classic in. Now the opponent's obviously choking that edit out, but then he ends up finishing the fight quickly. That's one. If you break it down, it goes to this. It goes pressure with the tack, great crosshair placement, an escape route, good movement on the peak, and exploit technique to finish the fight. If you were to break down that engagement, that is textbook, and it ended the fight like that. That is, if you are looking to improve your W King, look at something like that and go, wow, that's the gold standard.
How many games played? I've 4 played, 9 points. Not bad.
Gets beamed a little bit. Fantastic. Piece control, there's the cone coming in. Again, being important, and then he absolutely rolls. So just got slammed. Nice 58. And then look at those cones. He has top control cone, and he has the cone in the box. This piece control right here is too.
Steven.
He pressures the wall. Actually, the opponent actually makes a good... Look at the bad crosshair placement. It's actually going to cost him a little bit of trade damage.
Bag
But it gets the cone in there, and now this kind of gets kind of scary. The little cone flip up also saved, but fortunately he has chug cannon. Cracks this opponent for 50. Opponent gets away, and he just decides to disengage who is fighting. He conserves paths on the other opponent. We don't know if he found loot or something, or if it's the exactly same opponent. Good pickaxe bait.
You 5 fucking launches, bro.
Look at it again. Good crosshair placement, and then this constant pressure. Do you really want to edit on someone that is just spamming the living hell out of your wall? Notice how he waits right there too to reload certain shots. It almost never stops,
Attack right on this thing. For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
and he just absolutely bodies him with good aim. Now full boxes this opponent, ducks down, ends that. Really
You
good. Now they
probably check that kid too. Holy
look at the
fuck.
crosshair placement, waiting for the opponent to do the work. It's third party for a little bit and creates a lot of space, and then chug cannon, we're right back at it. We never stop this
I would
constant
keep
tech
fucking running
pressure.
through the lobby if I were you, bro.
12 eliminations. So not even too concerned about endgame. God, what a very difficult angle to do.
You have one shot in your gun, bro.
Good comms from whoever's coaching him. One shot in your gun. And just, this never stops. Hits even a little pre-fire right there just by constantly pressuring.
He's 150 if he didn't pop a big.
Good comms on from Scented, I believe. He's going to reload, and the opponent steals the kill, unfortunate.
You might get
Fantastic.
lobbied if you keep focusing.
And
Yeah,
look
yeah, that's so good.
at that again. Just constant tack pressure is just kind of the theme. Very rare pickaxe take finally. Look, trying to get in there. And then it just
Spaz as well,
constant
if you want.
tack pressure comes from underneath, but the opponent gets killed. Right hand peek as well. Gets a nice little refresh anyways. 14 eliminations. Cuts off where the opponent's going to be. Gets that back wall to make sure he finishes 15 eliminations. The opponent actually makes a good play on him, but it's all good. Recovers. It's a nice little right hand peek and tap, tap.
May not want a tunnel vision.
Senta tells me not to television. He fries that opponent from the backside. 7 launch pads. So he doesn't even mind taking a little bit of storm, and his kill actually gets stolen again. Oh, it's not going to be a 20. Could have been a 20.
Land up. Yeah, yeah.
Look at the cones again we see. Just kind of from the Asia VOD, the same type deal. Just much better ping now. Much cleaner. Oh my goodness.
He's been tarping height the whole time.
Notice how he's continued getting those cones to block him off.
Yeah, just don't go for anything brain dead, bro.
Make sure he funnels down effectively. So many mats. The opponent looks like he has no mats.
Looks like he's out of mats.
Yep, and Scented comes out as well, I believe. It's a nice little crack. He continues to just kind of go up. Make sure he cannons when he can.
You would chuck cannon charge in this.
And then he jumps down and kind of Tfue classics. An insane 18 kill elimination. Obviously, the big thing of that VOD review, tack pressure on walls is so fantastically good. It keeps you protected. If you have good crosshair placement with it as well, and you take good angles, it optimizes it to another level. You see Reet constantly pressuring walls with that tack. It prevents opponents from being too aggressive in editing, because what happens, he's constantly spraying. What am I going to do if I edit and he has good crosshair placement and cracks me? He's on a right-hand peak. I don't want to make an edit. And it's like, well, you kind of sit there and wait and be stagnant, and then Reet just takes the wall. If eventually, right? Eventually he's going to get that wall taken off. And then you see that an opponent just runs at him, and Reet, just good crosshair placement. Bop, 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 dead. If you just, and you have to have good reload management, understand that. You can't go in for the kill. And you even saw, once he kind of got, he kind of waited, I believe he got the wall, and they got like a little 40 tag, and then he made sure to put more in. So if he continued to be more aggressive, you have to be completely aware of that. That's like the one thing you got to do. But it's such a unique type. It's like maybe like a controller player type meta if you want to constantly, like, god tacks are really, and controller players really mesh, because on controller it's really hard to be as precise with your aim because you're just relying on your thumbsticks for aim, and the tack kind of gives you a little bit of room of error, so you can constantly rapid fire correct whatever little mistake. You hit a 25 shot, but I mean Reet's aim is top tier on controllers, so he constantly just hits his shots and trusts his aim, and he proves it over and over again. That definite theme of that VOD review again is use of that tack. Well, that is going to do it for today's VOD review, guys. If you did enjoy it, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. And I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.